Norm, this is a star-studded field here in the women's DMR for Section 2.
For sure. You know, if they're anchoring Engelhardt, they mean business. Engelhardt has the fastest time in the mile at 4:23. So, you know, Wolfpack are saying they're serious about this event. Stanford probably has the most to gain, and that they could make nationals if they run hard. And, you know, if NC State presses them, that'll make it even easier. But their leadoff is impressive right here.
Yeah, that's Whitaker, an Olympian. 157.76 PB in 2024 for Juliet Whitaker. And 6 laps, the 1,200 to start. Women's DMR.
Whittiers not wasting any time. She's got almost 10 meters on the field, about 220 meters in.
So Whitaker is out in front. Cassidy Scott is right now in second for North Carolina. Again, Norm mentioned, I think it's a great point for Stanford, and I might have referenced it early on in Section 1. Stanford at 13, just outside the qualifying dozen. So the Cardinal looking to punch their ticket to NCAAs here. And I mentioned Whitaker. You got Sophia Kennedy anchoring. Whitaker out in front, North Carolina in second. Virginia is in third with D'Souza.
Whitaker has taken her lead from 10 meters to almost 25 or 30. She is putting this out of doubt here on the 1,200 legs. Everybody else is going to be running for second now.
Yep, that's Mihalik right now trying to close into second. Remember NC State, the defending champs, at 10:52.59 a year ago at this meet.
Halfway for Whitaker in 136. That's within her comfort range. I mean, she's around 157. She should feel comfortable at 136.
Yes.
So this is a great move by Stanford to get it done. Just get out front, put your best possible runner on the 1,200 leg and your best anchor. Their middle two legs will be highly motivated because they got a big lead. They know Nationals is on the line. I think we may be seeing a mark that could get it done. All right, she's coming up on 2 to go. Let's see what she goes through. The half in. It's going to be about 2:10, maybe 2:09 high.
See NC State, the defending champions. They clocked a new school record in Winston-Salem last week, and Mihalik is running a terrific opening leg. Rauber, Napoleon, Engelhardt were part of that. Engelhardt, fantastic anchor run there at Winston-Salem, running a 4:23 split, a feat that saw her named the track and field athlete of the week.
Whitaker at the bell, 2:42. These guys are going to be about 2:50.
Whitaker out in front.
7-second lead for Whitaker with 1 to go.
How about BC, though, Norm? They're in second right now with Hannah Hollins. North Carolina is running third in the opening leg of the women's DMR.
Still, to me, looks like a lot of team running for second.
Yep. Addie Pendergrast is going to run this second leg. That will be the 400.
Whitaker,
Stanford,
running 3:15 or so on the leadoff.
Yeah, tremendous.
Solid. 3:15.28 officially split.
Pendergrast way out in front. Florida State will now leapfrog into second.
6-second lead for Stanford over Florida State at the handoff. Florida State quarter mile is going to cut in some to the Stanford lead, most likely. But let's see what 1 lap in is. And it's still about a 6-second lead.
That's Ceremi running the second leg for Florida State. BC will now take third with Josini. And now she moves to the second. Yep, on this backstretch.
Duke
right
coming up. Duke
that's Braelyn Baker.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Braelyn Baker on there. You're saying you're pretty serious, too. Yep. It looks like Duke is going to hand off to the half-mile leg, at least tied for second.
Everett's here in this.
And they're wearing long. The Duke's running long Tolbert on the 800. So there's another girl who's run right at the 2-minute area.
But still the healthy lead here for Stanford. And again, trying to crack into that bubble time. Stanford out in front. It's Amelia Everett running this third leg.
Tolbert and BC's Bergman are reducing the lead of Stanford. It's gone from 6 seconds to about 4.
So, Norm, that bubble time right now, Clemson has it at 10:49:27. 10:49:27. Just keep that in the back of your mind moving forward in the race.
Yeah, that's done. That's not happening. Cardinal, though, is losing ground to Tolbert and to Bergman of BC.
Yeah, how about Tolbert? Yeah, you're spot on.
Tolbert has that look on her face. She's going to get the lead from Stanford, I'm pretty sure. And I know Duke will have a formidable anchor, not necessarily in the Kennedy mold, but
Stephanie Moss will be their anchor for the Blue Devils.
Duke, the last few years, especially on the women's side, when they smell blood in the water, they go for it. Now Tolbert is going to have a busy weekend. She's also running the 400 and the 4x4 for sure. We know they're trying to make nationals in the 4x4, having the ACC record. Tolbert with less than 1 to go now. Stanford's in her sights, but can Stanford come back? I bet you they can. Stanford looks like she's got a little left in the tank.
Iris Bergman is running this third leg for BC.
Tolbert's got 100 meters to go, but I think she is done denting the lead. I think Stanford's going to lengthen it a little bit here. And now look who's moving into third. That is the NC State Wolfpack.
Yep, that's Engelhardt, which switched
Tolbert is
positions.
running
She's
out of
going to
gas.
give way to Napoleon, and Napoleon will run the anchor.
Napoleon, the great steeplechaser.
The steeple that we called it, right? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we called it the NCAA outdoor meet at Wake Forest last year. Yep. Here's the final leg in a mile, Norm.
Kennedy, the obvious favorite. Is that Moss for Duke?
Yes.
Right. Stephanie Moss. And then Napoleon. That's 3 pretty good anchors. But you got to give the edge to Kennedy or Napoleon. And BC now getting into it. BC's in 4th. And Notre Dame in 5th. That's your top 5.
Stanford, Duke, and NC State out in front here on this backstretch. Also see North Carolina all the way in the back, but UNC has not won the women's DMR here since 2003. NC State had a lot of dominance for so many years as folks who follow this sport well. They've only won the event 3 times, 96, 21, and also, as I mentioned earlier, last year for the Wolfpack.
Stephanie Moss now coming up on Kennedy. Maybe Stephanie heard me up here, right? She said, I'll show that Coach Ogilvy. Kennedy, Moss, Napoleon. Napoleon's so tough, though, man. Well, this is going to be great. So now it's set. We had 5 in it. We clearly got 3 in this running. And remember, NC State's probably already in, but Duke and Stanford would like to join that list.
See what the Indy native can do to close this out. But Kennedy, 5 laps to go. Moss to follow her. Napoleon is running 3rd.
Have to bring this up. 800 splits. Tolbert ran a great leg. She ran out of steam at the end, but she ran 2:04. But the NC State half miler, 2:02.56, fastest of the race.
Fantastic.
But look at this. We got a race here. We got a real race coming up on 4 to go. 800 meters remaining. Kennedy in the lead. Moss second. Napoleon third.
We see the 6-time All-American out in front, Kennedy, followed by Duke and NC State. Boston College is in 4th.
Wow, this is another great DMR. Obviously they're looking to run really fast and get to nationals, but this is also an ACC DMR with a title on the line. Here goes Napoleon into 2nd. But any one of those 3 girls could win this. Kennedy probably with a little less leg speed than Napoleon or Moss, but she's got tremendous strength. All she's accomplished at 3K and 5K.
See the Wolfpack student athletes cheering on their competitors in the women's DMR. Napoleon running 2nd to Kennedy. Of course, her father Bob, a 2-time Olympian. Seeing his daughter shine here at the ACCs. Kennedy out in front, Napoleon in 2nd, Moss for Duke in 3rd.
BC's back in it, in 4th, right behind Moss, and looking good.
Go back to the fantastic finish that NC State had last weekend in Winston-Salem, Norm. When Engelhardt at the time received the baton, NC State at that point was in fourth place, nearly 10 seconds behind the leader, North Carolina. Maybe not apples to apples right now, but you're seeing NC State at this moment trying to take the lead. Right now, Napoleon is still in second behind Kennedy. Can they have a finish like last week?
How about Holland for BC?
It is Napoleon.
Here comes Moss. Here comes Stephanie Moss at Duke. It looks like Kennedy is going to stay boxed and out of it. We're coming up on the bell lap. Napoleon, Moss, Holland for NC State, and now Moss takes the lead.
Here comes Moss. Well, she's trying to, but Napoleon's still out in front. Yep. As we head to the backstretch, it's Napoleon out in front. Moss in second for Duke. BC's in third.
Moss is in the better position, and she goes wide, and she takes the lead. Nope, not quite.
Outside on this
she
turn.
Keeps trying. She doesn't get it. One last turn to go. Napoleon looks like she's going to outgut her. Napoleon determined, the steeplechaser from NC State. Moss, though, look at that look on her face.
Moss trying to close. Moss takes it.
Wins. Wow.
It's Moss for Duke and the women's DMR. What a finish at 10:52:45 for the Blue Devils.
Wow, pretty impressive. Not fast enough to go to nationals, but very, very good.
That close inside 100 there over Napoleon there for Moss. Exceptional.
10:52:45. The anchor for Moss, 4:32:14. The anchor for Napoleon, 4:31:77. Napoleon just giving it her all. Moss fighting her to the wire and winning by the narrowest of margins. 10:52:45 to 10:52:59. Boston College third. The Boston College anchor, 4:32:25. So the top three anchors all 4:32 or faster. But Moss digging down. Look at that face. She just wanted it more. But Napoleon, brave leg. Napoleon again slightly faster than Moss. But Moss gets the win for Duke. An exciting DMR again. I tell you, you've been doing this for over 3 decades. These DMRs never disappoint at the end.
And congratulations to the England native Stephanie Moss and the quartet right there. It was close to a photo finish there for Duke, and they take it. We'll wrap up our coverage on day one after this.
Ladies, it's always exciting when a race comes down to that last lap. Can you walk me through what was going through your mind in that last mile?
Yeah, I mean, just, being able to be in it for the team and just having that, position when you're vying for positions like that, just having, a team behind you is just so much more motivating. It's so special.
Oh man, the entire time I just knew that I wanted to run for God's glory, and I was talking to these girls about how it's an individual sport, but when we come together, it's team camaraderie, and nothing beats Duke's team camaraderie. This is proof of that.
Every time I stepped on the line for Duke, I just felt the whole team, the whole women's team just behind my back and just on me, and just knowing I'm running for them, and it's all for them.
Yeah, I second what everyone else has said. It's been so exciting to kind of be on this squad with this ladies the last few weeks. And yeah, today just kind of was the icing on the cake for us, I think.
Well, congratulations, ladies, on the win.
All right, well done to the Duke Blue Devils. And